Be prepared to not enjoy what I'm about to say. Last video, we discussed the connections between Prospera and Honduras, Freedom Cities and Trump, and Greenland, who the original idea came from, though, was Ron Lauder. The original idea for Trump to go into Greenland was from this guy named Ron Lauder. Ron Lauder is the World Jewish Congress president. Peter Thiel, Elon Musk, David Sachs, Ken Howery, all members of the PayPal Mafia, and Ken Howery, if you don't know his name, was recently confirmed for his position as the ambassador for America to Denmark. And Denmark owns Greenland. Back to Ron Lauder. We figured out something about this guy we didn't know prior. See, we understand that Pronomos Capital is funding Prospera over in Honduras, a ZEED, where people can go and have 1% business tax, no FDA compliance, and they're trying to do this thing called make death optional, whatever the heck that means. So, this connects all the way back to Coinbase Ventures, BlackRock, but there was one person in this that we left out, and that's the Mega Group. The Mega Group was formed by a guy named Les Wexner. Les Wexner had a group of about 30 to 40 prominent Jewish billionaires to include Ron Lauder in it. Ron Lauder is the guy who gave Trump the idea to go to Greenland, and Ron Lauder also invested in the Greenland Water Bank as of this November, shortly before we go ahead and also pardon Juan Orlando Hernandez in December, who gave them the framework to create Prospera. Juan Orlando Hernandez, former president of Honduras, helped form Prospera LLC, this freedom city. But this is where it gets interesting, because Les Wexner, owner of Victoria's Secret, is also riddled in the Epstein files. Specifically, Epstein ran Wexner's finances, and Wexner gifted Epstein his New York home for $1. This is the same guy who created the Mega Group, a group of 30 to 40 prominent Jewish billionaires to include Ron Lauder. Ghislaine Maxwell had a weird foundation called Terramar, which was around having ownership over the ocean. The Terramar Project refers to primarily an ocean conservation nonprofit founded by Ghislaine Maxwell in 2012. This Global Ocean Committee that was supposed to be a nonprofit, it actually gave out no money between 2012 and 2017 and had unusually high legal and accounting fees for an organization of its size. Case 115 CV07433 LAP, document 113-13, file 102220, page 372. Ghislaine Maxwell is asked, "Are you a citizen of the United States?" She says, "I am." "Are you also a citizen of England?" "I am." "Are you a citizen of any other land?" Terramar. Terramar. She says the name of her foundation. He says, "That's the name of your charity project that deals with oceans. Isn't that correct?" "Yes, I'm French as well." Question, has Jeffrey Epstein funded Terramar for you? He did give some money to Terramar. How much? I believe it was $50,000. See, Terramar and Ghislaine Maxwell were big into this thing called seasteading. And seasteading originally came from a guy. Seasteading was originally created by this guy named Patrick Friedman, the grandson of the famed economist Milton Friedman. Patrick Friedman created a fund called Pronomos Capital, and Peter Thiel, Musk, Sam Altman, all them invest into it. And guess what that Pronomos Capital funds? Pronomos Capital funds Prospera. So Prospera and these freedom cities are a version of seasteading, the ability to create a new town, a new city, a new area that does not adhere to national law. They have their own automated governance. But here's the deal. Ron Lauder, member of the Mega Group, formed by Les Wexner, went and said to Trump, "Yo, we need Greenland." Trump announces freedom cities March 2023. We announce we need Greenland December 2025. And guess what's happening to the freedom city in Prospera? They're getting sued. April 21st, 2022, the ZEED, which is the zoning that's needed for a place like Prospera to have all of these types of rules, was deemed illegal. And so Prospera sued for $10.8 billion, and the case is still ongoing. So the Prospera project is struggling. Meanwhile, this guy says, "Yo, let's go after Greenland," and starts investing in Greenland. He also just so happened to start investing in Greenland mere weeks after Ken Howery, PayPal Mafia member, is confirmed for his position as the ambassador to Denmark, and Denmark owns Greenland. Juan Orlando Hernandez, originally created the Prospera Foundation, and Prospera was founded in 2017, again, sued in 2022. But before even that, in 2011, they tried to create what's called the RED, the RED, And they said, no, this is not good. We don't want this in Honduras. In 2011, a proposal for model cities, originally called RED, this would eventually get called a ZEED, but it was a RED here, was introduced. By October 2012, the Supreme Court ruled the RED law unconstitutional with a 13-1 vote, and the court judges voted 4-1. Well, those 4 judges were dismissed. At a 4 a.m. vote, they were replaced with new judges who were pro-ZEED. Following the purge, a new Supreme Court approved the legal framework for the revamped ZEEDs in 2013. And not only is Coinbase Ventures, who invests heavily into Prospera simply because it's so crypto-friendly, also humongous backing by BlackRock, we have to go back to this mega group. Because the mega group, formed by and led by Les Wexner, was actually the original idea by a well-known financier out of New York who wanted to create a high net worth group of Jewish individuals that had similar goals. The mega group, which is where Ron Lauder came from, was formed by Jeffrey Epstein. Mega group, study group, Jewish group, whatever. Steven Spielberg was involved. What the heck? Jeffrey Epstein is said to have used the group to build up a high network of high-ranking contracts in business, media, and politics. Wexner was Epstein's primary financial porter, yet later claimed to have known nothing of his criminal activities. And then we look at the members, Les Wexner. Let's go all the way down, and we see Ron Lauder, who again is the reason we are going into Greenland.